Danny, come Okay, good morning once, good morning twice, good morning enough times to get things right. This is part two of our one-shot special, The Fall of Craghammer. As Harry Dresden, our level 20 wizard sorcerer NPC, tries to save Craghammer from death and destruction via the flooding of the entire underground city. We have one of our highly skilled players filling in for the role of Harry Dresden. Last week, he set the foundation for his attempt to save Craghammer, speaking to many of the important people, putting a lot of things into place, getting the entire town terrified of a coming danger, and through multiple different actions has ensured that at the very least 38% of the population will be saved. Needing to refresh his spells, as Harry Dresden's plans for today were simply construction. After putting a few pots on the stove, Harry Dresden has retreated back to the home between worlds to take a long rest, change out his spells, before coming back out and having to implement everything in order to properly save Craghammer. As it currently stands, the loose plan seems to be to funnel the majority of the citizens into a few of the offshoot clan-owned districts, seal those districts to ensure that the flooding waters do not get to them. In order to help with this mass exodus, Harry has arranged for multiple demons to be summoned in the southmost and the southwest districts in order to funnel everyone out of those and up into what will be the safer ones. Demons aside, it's a solid-ish plan. And again, when trying to save an entire nation, as it were, some extremes must be made. But Harry still has a lot of legwork to do, a few contacts to reach out to. Questions, comments, concerns, or reminders from you, Manny, before we hop in?
I don't think so. We covered everyone. We did also hit up the media outlet to help get the word out.
Yeah, so the evening edition will cover
Yes.
the impending doom of Craghammer. So you successfully put a ton of legwork in to make sure the majority of the population is fully aware that tonight devastation will rain upon them.
Yes.
I don't recall if you mentioned exactly that it was the lakes being destroyed, but I do believe you made very clear that death and destruction are pending.
I don't know if I mentioned it to them, but the giant floating heads for an hour screaming to the public with the major image. They definitely
Okay.
mentioned.
And that's another point to make. Harry Dresden did make major images on multiple levels of Craghammer, yelling of this death and destruction and the flooding of Craghammer for up to an hour, or when they were dispelled by proper authorities. But the town is sufficiently engaged, though Harry has been off sleeping and has not seen, as of yet, how effective that was. But as we rejoin Mr. Dresden, let me drop this link really quick somewhere, then we'll get started. As a reminder, Harry is currently destined to have a very hard time doing this. But he does have kind of we'll call it a back pat from a goddess, kind of confirming that he should be able to do something here.
Okay.
Once again, Catra is in no way officially,
This-
God pending,
Yes.
but a goddess of fate.
Well, we might be
said it
reaching
was
out
possible.
to Istis anyway, so.
Yeah, and she's a goddess of fate. She said it was possible, so that is absolutely not nothing. That's a big deal. But okay. Harry wakes from his long rest, spells prepared and ready. What would you like to do?
So before he goes down for the long rest, because he went back to the world between worlds,
Yes.
he would have gotten the Bobs together. And,
Oh, the Bobs. Okay.
yes, and just ask them to kind of go over the facts again. Try to pinpoint the most likely location that the druids would strike. The most likely two locations.
Most likely
If
two.
we could only go to two spots, what are the two spots that they think would have the highest probability of running in to the druids? And just let them kind of work on that for the 6 hours that Harry is asleep.
Okay.
So that hopefully, by the time that he gets up, he has some kind of a heading.
I will say, roll for me. So give me survival with advantage and arcana with advantage.
Okay. Arcana skills. Arcana is a +12. That's good. So 10 plus 12 is 22 on Arcana.
Okay.
Survival. Where? Survival. Scroll down.
It's pretty high. +6.
Okay, cool. Thing wasn't scrolling. Advantage 18. 22 and 18.
Okay. So, you wake up. The Bobs are still chatting. Bob the Skull says, "Oh, hey, boss. You're back up. Look, we got a map and everything going." And hi, Bob. It kind of has a map out that he's been doodling on. Yeah, so we got some ideas. Like, if we could only pick two places, general thoughts, Bob and Bob. We're thinking about calling it Bob Squared or Bob to Bob or, the Bobs. But it's very important to note that when we say Bob and Bob, that Bob the Skull was the first Bob. He was very adamant.
Okay. Duly noted.
But,
Not
like,
surprised.
ignoring the rich and the elite, we think your best place to start would be the Opal, which is like the base level of the upper disc. Because, if the other lakes crash, they have to crash into the Opal floor. And as long as the Opal floor doesn't break, it's kind of fine. There's the least amount of damage done, respectfully to the rich.
All right.
Bob says, "Yeah, boss. Like, if you can't save the 1%, you can at least save everyone else. But Opal, we want to save Opal, so ignore Hi Bob. You actually want to go to Garnet. Garnet is one level up.
Okay.
That will, if you can stop the destruction of Garnet's floor, then you can probably ensure that, the other 2 and 3 discs don't get flooded out. Now, it'll be tricky. Depending on what they're using to disrupt the floor of water, you may need to. Most likely, you're looking at maybe stopping one group on Garnet and maybe one group on Opal. And Hi Bob cuts in. Yeah, dude. Like I was saying, like it's probably a harmonious effect where you got to hit it from above and below. So, like, if I, Bob, were gonna do it, I'd have equal points above and below certain spots on this ocean floor ceiling thing, and I hit him at the same time with some kind of magical disruption device. And it'll probably take a minute or two of it running constantly to work, but if you hit it top and bottom, kaboosh, it's out of there. And Hi Bob will kind of slide a map over to you and say, yeah, if it was me, I'd put it here. And he circles a spot on Opal, and he circles a spot on Garnet.
All right.
Bob the Skull says, and I don't know if anyone told you, boss, but I heard that you kind of put the word out of danger and run away and bad things coming.
Yes, I did.
So there is a general, foot entrance to Craghammer. That's probably packed and backed up. That's on the Opal floor in the Gorun district, where the magic folk are. They kind of like to operate that, but most likely it is backed up to capacity, unless they're being smart people, in which case it's working fine. But,
well, I'm taking into consideration that they're not going to be smart people. In fact, the true commotion, he just almost as if he's checking a watch or something. The real commotion should be starting about now. So when everyone starts scattering, we should be having some help directing traffic to safe areas inside the city, as opposed to having everyone leave the city.
Oh, great plan, boss. Hi, Bob says.
We'll see if it works.
The more allies you can get, the better in some kind of big operation like this. I wish you all the best. I've never been to Craghammer.
I need to get things in place. Not to cut you guys off, I'm very appreciative of what you've done. The map is going to be helpful. But
awesome.
I have a few more pieces to get in place and little time to do it.
Best of luck, Harry Dresden. And
before he goes, he's going to take another branch. He took one branch last time. He's going to take another branch from the world.
Oh, from the trees? Okay.
Yeah.
Bob will say, kind of float over to you before you leave. So, boss, you coming back? This feels like one of those Dresden saves the world going down punching things.
Well, as long as I can stop this, yeah, I'm coming back. If I fail, I should be able to come back, but a lot of water coming down.
Yeah, seems like a really bad time. I'll look after the kids. They seem like a decent enough bunch.
I do appreciate that. I have a feeling that even if I get out of here, I'm not going to be without making a deal. Uh,
Well,
so
just
I may
avoid
have
the
some.
Fae. You've done that already. Don't want to bark up that tree again.
No, the gods seem to really like watching me, and one's already involved in this, so if it comes down to it, maybe I'll try them this time.
They're just as tricky.
Yeah, I figure they've been standing in line for long enough.
Well, boss, I'm immortal, so I'll see you when I see you.
Hopefully not too long.
Well, what's time but a construct of you mortals?
Thanks for rubbing it in one last time.
And he'll float his way back to the library.
All right. The Harry will go through the door to the overfilled tankard. I think we were. Yeah, so then in the privacy of the room, Harry is going to use the wish spell to cast Simulacrum,
Oh,
copy
snap.
himself.
Is that one action, or has it got some time limits on that?
I think, oh, you know what? I might not be able to do this, actually. I forgot to look at that. Oh, no. Because I think because I'm using Wish,
It cuts the
might be able
casting
to
time for the
alter.
other one.
I think so. Let me just double check. Do. Says you don't need to meet any of the requirements in the spell. It simply takes effect.
Wow. All right. Let me see if I can make 2 hairy dresses. I'm not sure. 2 hairy dresses.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Alright, so now that he has a copy of himself, he is going to look at him and say, okay, just to avoid any confusion, you are Harry 2. You're not Harry. You're not Harry 200. Harry 2, the number 2.
Makes sense to me, Harry. So does that make you Harry
We don't have
1
a lot
or
of time.
just Harry?
That's still to be determined. That's an excellent question. However, I have a job. I'm kind of assuming that he would already know everything since he's a copy of
Yeah.
me.
Harry's going to say, I know everything you know, Harry. Let's just... How are we splitting this up?
Alright. So, you're going to go to disc 3. I'm going to go to disc 2. We're going to... I need you to turn invisible. You're going to fly up to the most center point of the disc. Maybe, 80 to 100 feet up.
Okay.
To where
okay.
it's going to have the most line of sight from the most people. We're going to put up another image. This time it's going to be an image of a guard, preferably a guard captain. They're going to be telling everyone to evacuate to your nearest, what are they called? Arms? Or what was the offshoots of?
You were calling them Oz. Kind of like Oz. They are districts, clan districts.
Okay. They are going to advise everyone to go to their nearest clan district. Now, obviously, there are going to be some clan districts already being terrorized, so they won't want to stay there. That should get them at least line of sight and hearing the message on what to do. Now, either on your way to put the image up, or directly after, you are going to talk to the Bippy. You're going to get them on board with facilitating the evacuations to the open clan districts that we have already designated to be safe.
Right.
If things don't go well, yes. If they don't go well, I've packed mass suggestion. Use that if you have to. Then, from there, we are going to meet at Garnet. And I show him the spot on the map.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same thing on disc 2, except instead of talking to the Bippy, I am going to convince some of the Clan's Guard to also help us.
We made a solid plan.
If I feel like things are not going well on the ground, it looks like people are scattering, not going to the right places, I may conjure a planar ally. Contact Istis and get a more angelic representative. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, because I'm sure they'll want more than I care to give.
Yeah, they usually do, as we know. But just make sure you give yourself enough time. That's 10 minutes to get a planar ally down here.
I know. That's why it's kind of a last resort.
Okay.
Once we meet at Garnet, it'll be me, you, and Thomas. And be ready for a fight.
What else is there?
You're planning on stopping a group of people powerful enough to disarm the lakes that have withstood for hundreds of years.
Sounds like just another. Oh, what day is it? I lost the day of the week.
Oh, think
Just
that
another
was
insert
everything.
day of the week here.
Right. We'll go up. We'll put up another image. You'll talk to the Bippy. I'll talk
You'll
to
talk
them.
to the gods.
Unfortunately, that is going to eat up both of our 6th level spell slots. But
Okay.
this, I believe, mass suggestion and conjure major image that stays needs to be 6th level. Oh no,
All
that's
right. Well, let's see.
actually
Mass suggestion starts at 6.
yeah.
Upcasting it gives you 10 days. I don't know if you need 10 days. 6th level gives you 24 hours.
No, the major image.
Oh, major image. Okay.
For it to not be concentration. Which,
I see.
well, actually, this time
six or higher.
But if we're only going to put it up for once, he doesn't need to maintain concentration on anything other than that. Is mass suggestion concentration?
It's
No, it's
probably
not.
not,
Okay.
but I feel like it should be. Yeah, it's not.
So we're not going to do it at 6th level. We can do it at 2nd level. It'll only be up for 10 minutes, but that's fine.
Okay.
Alright, so we split up. He goes to disc 3. I go to disc 2.
Okay. As you guys, two Bobs and two Dresdens, love it. You guys make your way out the room downstairs. You can immediately hear these sounds of essentially a panicked Craghammer. A lot of people rushing around, grabbing what they can. A lot of arguments. A lot of attempts at peacekeeping.
Okay.
And as you begin heading down, Dresden 2 kind of nudges you and says, Dresden 1, we got company.
Oh, yes.
And you see...
I almost forgot.
Not him. Sofer is gone.
Oh, not him.
You see sitting at the table...
The guy for Baez was supposed to be waiting for us for his answer. It's not him.
That's not the first person you see. No, the first person you see is Gentleman Johnny Marcone sitting at a table. He raises an eyebrow. Dresden's? Dresden 2 says, you got that, Prime. And he keeps walking.
Is there an open spot at...
Yeah, no one's sitting anywhere near Marcone. There's some guards making sure the rowdy, worried crowd is not near him.
Okay. I will... Harry will walk over quickly and have a seat.
That's Marcone.
Looks at him. In person. Respectable.
Well, when you're terrorizing my city with unfounded claims of death and destruction, I do think it warrants a personal visit. What are you up to, Dresden?
It turns out things are worse than I'm making it. I'm actually trying to help. So, I'm sure you're familiar with the crazy druids that have been screaming at people.
Yes, a nuisance.
Yes, as I thought too. Turns out they're more than that. They have a plan, a pretty credible plan, to bring the lakes down. You know, it's kind of like flooding everything out. Real short notice. Not sure if I have time to stop them. So, yeah, created a bunch of panic. We're gonna try and funnel everyone into a few of the clan districts. I just picked them at random. Once people are in, we're going to close them off. And if I can't stop it, at least the people will be safe. If I can't stop it, well, I'm going to have a whole lot of egg on my face for scaring everybody. But at least they'll be alive.
Rubs the bridge of his nose. And I'm sure you've made no effort to ensure those doors get closed.
Well, not entirely yet. That's where we're on the way to get the Clans Guard and the Bippy on board with this evacuation, and they will be the ones in charge of making sure the doors get closed. As we will not be there, we will be hopefully tracking down the druids. Don't imagine you would want to help that. Not help me, of course. Help the druids not be alive anymore.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion is 11. Go red and white down. Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20.
20 and a 9.
Marcone leans forward. I can ensure the doors are closed. Do you know what time this is happening?
Yes. 9 p.m.
3 hours.
So in about 3 hours. Yeah. Like I
Not
said,
quite enough
we're
time
on
to
short
move all
notice.
of my assets, but is there any threat to the Undercity? Or is it just Craghammer?
Well, I would imagine yes, just because it's water and it's going to find the lowest point it can. So, I mean, probably not with force anyway, but yeah.
I see. Well, he kind of leans back in his chair. I'm, of course, heavily invested in Craghammer and elsewhere these days. I don't need it to be flooded. That would be contrary to business. I will fill in the gaps you leave, Dresden. I will ensure the death of these druids should I find them. And I will have my people ensure more peaceful and orderly evacuation.
That would be wonderful, actually. Um, I guess the only other piece of information, if you go hunting for them, I believe a good spot to start would be Opal.
He
So a pretty good
nods.
chance they will show up there. That seems to be a kind of a linchpin point for the magic that holds up the lakes.
He nods, kind of understanding, he's quickly going in his mind through the layout of Craghammer and what the weak points would be. I've told them many times those lakes were foolish. Fine.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, I like Craghammer. I don't need Craghammer, Dresden. This is a favor.
One sec. What's up? Okay. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be there. Sorry. He said he will lean back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just dropping information.
Give me insight with advantage.
No bonus. Alright. 16.
It was low because it's natural 20 on persuasion. You can see while he is trying to weasel a favor out of this, he has no intention of letting Craghammer get flooded. You have said the
Okay.
right things, you have given enough information that there is no world where he does not act on this.
Okay.
And you can kind of see he's not antsy per se, but you can see his mind just running insanely fast as he is just while even sitting there just trying to map out the most efficient way to save the assets he deems needed to be saved.
So Harry will just stand up, push the chair in. Well, like I said, I just gave you the information. I still have a lot of work to do.
Marcone will stand up and say, one thing more. Whom else have you had direct conversations with about this? For some reason, 8 hours ago, all the banks closed.
Well, yeah, like I said, I really wanted to save as many people as I could, so you went to the earmark.
No, Earmark
It
would
should
not have
be
gotten
all-
them close. Who else did you speak to?
Oh, Mr. Magic. You know who I mean.
He
He
sighs.
sent a representative.
A constant thorn in my side. Okay.
You and I both.
This at least confirms.
He offered it. He offered his help. I'm supposed to be turning him down any moment now. I gotta like scan the rooms. See if the other guy's here.
You see him at the bar, just enjoying a beer and some snacks. He looks over to you and kind of nods, so you can see the two discolored eyes.
Harry will send him a message,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll motion towards his rival at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the message will say, "I'm glad you're here. You can see that if one comes in person, I deal with you."
The message you get back is, "My master is far too busy for the likes of you. Make the choices you'll make. You've given us quite enough of a head start for this to be prosperous."
Well then, good day.
He will finish his drink, grab a few of the party mix and the trail mix and walk out with him. Marcone, kind of watching this happen, kind of nods to you. Better the devil you know.
I couldn't agree more.
Justin, when this is done, we'll have to have a conversation about that one.
Oh, I might actually enjoy that conversation.
He has a smile that doesn't quite touch the eyes as he says, "You might indeed. Now I think you were rushing off somewhere."
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. So absent-minded sometimes.
That you will. And he'll go over and he's going to go talk to Delg.
Oh, okay. That actually makes a ton of sense.
He sits down with a plate of spaghetti he had ready at the bar and puts that down. Okay.
Fantastic.
So you're
Like he's
heading
eaten a lot of spaghetti in the past 8 hours.
Delg?
Yeah.
Probably. You see a lot of empty plates of spaghetti. As you step outside, Harry too has gotten a head start, taken to the air, and is flying down the district.
Okay.
As you step out, it is chaos out here. It is legitimately Armageddon. Like, people are grabbing things, they're rushing, they have loosely packed bags. There's, the middle class nobility that has large wagons kind of clogging the road. Like, it's legitimately Attack on Titan-esque. Get to the inner city, inner walls.
Yes.
So you are between your major image and the Lestrian earmark, which was dropped moments ago.
Okay.
There's full enough has happened that they believe this is a legitimate threat, and not to mention the Druids have been walking around all day in groups, yelling about the impending doom.
Oh, good.
And you can actually still hear them yelling. You can't see where they are, but you can hear them. "Time's up! You've wasted your lives! You wasted your town! Your greed will be the death of you! You will be buried in it!"
Nice. That is actually perfect.
There is a legitimate tension, but the majority of them are heading towards the lift to try to get out of Craghammer. There aren't many at all moving towards the districts you are trying to push them towards.
Okay. Then I will look for the guards on my way to put up the image instead. Actually, trying to find some as quickly as I can.
Roll
Looking
investigation for me.
Cool. Looking for a large group of 20 or more if I can. Investigation. Even. So. 11.
11. You're looking for guards or Bibby?
I'm looking for the guards.
Oh, you're
He's
doing
looking for-
guards. Correct, okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to find a little closer to the lift, a little closer to the district that holds the lift, a group of guards trying to keep some kind of order and trying to ensure that people with carts and wagons are essentially taking what's important off of those things and walking.
Okay. Alright, so. I think. Let me get it. Mass congestion. Up to 12 creatures. Okay. So 12 of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wisdom saving throw from them. The course of action I would like to get them to pursue, and I'm looking for like if there's anyone who's like looks like they are a boss or higher rank. I want
Okay.
them included. I want them to close the lift.
To close the lift. Harry Dresden, a man of extremes. Okay. What are you saying exactly? Just so we have that.
Okay. I'll walk up. I'll get on saying, "This is no good. It is going to save more people if we close the lift and push them into the clan districts. Close the doors."
Yeah, that makes sense. Boys, get that lift closed. Nothing doing here, alright? We need to get them into the districts. Someone yells, "But sir, what? That doesn't make any sense. We can just get them out to the districts, I say. Focus, now is not the time to fall apart."
Nice. Alright.
So you're
We
on
got this
District
handled?
2. There are only 3 available districts. Bloodkith is racked. That's already closed. Though you are... no, Dresden's not aware of anyway. So one's already closed. Stout Ale has the lift. They're closing that lift. So they're going to push everyone towards Foam Tankard and Deep Delver. Just time-wise. So you didn't have to walk too far from... Well, no, if you haven't closed the lifts, it would have taken you about 20 to 30 minutes to get to people that looked important enough to close the actual lift.
Okay.
As far as having folks turn around and go to the other districts, it's going to take them an hour to get to those other districts.
Well, I guess
You have time.
they could stay here and we could just close the
you're
doors
gonna-
on this.
Yes, you can. Okay, so you're going to let them stay in Stout Ale, which is the leftmost?
Yeah, we'll choose Stout Ale and the tankard one.
Foam Tankard. So that'll be the west and the north districts.
Yes.
So you'll be forcing people out of Deep Delver for the latter part of the plan.
Correct.
Okay. And the districts are very large in their own right.
Okay.
So the guards will start. They'll close the lift, and that's going to take some doing. But with that, they are going to start sending people towards the entrance to Stout Ale. Are going to stop letting people exit Stout Ale, and doing their best to get people in. Did you give the time of the attack in the major images? or to the newspaper?
I think I did.
I
Yeah.
think you did too. So the guards are going to hold the district open as long as they can, at least for Stout Ale. Maroney, of course, has the time and will be influencing the other doors, though you're not sure
Okay.
how long those will stay open.
You might close them early.
I mean, decent chance. Roll a. Go ahead and roll a d12 for me.
12. Okay. There it is. 11.
11. 49% of Craghammer is currently safe.
All right. Okay. All right. Halfway.
Not bad. Not bad as far as disasters go. Saving 49% would be pretty good. Oh,
All right. So then,
let me adjust our countdown clock to 2 hours and 30
We're-
minutes.
all right. How long would it take me to cast invisibility on myself, and then use my fly, and fly up towards the center-ish of the disc?
Of this disc?
Yeah.
Flying. That pretty much doubles your movement speed, and then you have dash. You could probably cover it in like 10 minutes. You can do
Okay,
it
cool.
without too much issue. It wouldn't be overly effective in the countdown.
Okay. So I think that's the only thing I have left for Harry 1. He's talked to the guard, got the lift closed, and they're helping with the evacuation. So now
Okay.
he's just going to go up. He's going to put the image of the guards that he just spoke to, telling everyone to go to Tankard and Foam Tankard and
Stout ale.
Stout Ale. Yeah.
Okay. Are you using regular invisibility or greater invisibility?
Regular.
Okay.
So before I can, like, when he gets over towards the center, it's got 120-foot range on.
Okay. Okay. So you got
Major
some
image.
distance to throw it.
So, yeah, he's just kind of gonna hide behind like whatever the tallest building in range. He mainly just didn't want anyone to see him as he's flying through the city and like scouting out a spot to
Gotcha.
cast this from. Let me mark off this second level slot. Visibility. And third level for major image. Alright.
Okay. Now, so you're doing that. Harry 2 would have made his way to the lift and down in this time. Roll me on the investigation and the persuasion. Investigation straight, persuasion advantage.
Investigation straight. 19 for investigation.
Okay.
Persuasion advantage. 22.
22. Okay, so the Harry is able to find one of the old guard of the Bibby.
Nice.
The Bibby is actually an offshoot of a group Harry used to work with back when he used to live in Crackhammer. They've come and changed a long time since then, but he's able to find some Bibby that know of him and know what he's contributed and know what the Bibby was supposed to be originally. So
Okay.
it takes no time at all for him to convince them, let them know kind of what the plan is, excluding the motivation to get folks to districts. But without much issue, Harry is able to convince the Bippy to start moving people towards the, I guess, north and east for this one.
It was the 2 crafters.
Steel fist and
The
2 anvil.
yes.
So yeah, that'll be north and east.
Yes.
So they'll start putting that into motion. Give me another D12.
Okay. Does he need to use his the
Mass
mass
suggestion.
suggestion for the Bippy, or because they're old friends?
I'm gonna say yes, just because I've pre-established the Bippy have many different ranks and many different colors. So while
Okay.
the people he would know would not be the people of the most influence in the current Bippy. So
Okay.
the people he knows could get the other Bippy in the same room, and mass suggestion give a hit with them.
Okay. So then the D12 is a 2.
2. Okay, 51%.
Okay. All right. The Bippy are slightly less effective, but I think we all knew that.
And this 3 is more of the rough and tumble, I'm not leaving my home type people. So it's a little harder to get them to move. But you do have the incoming demons, so we'll see.
All right. And then he will use his invisibility and his major image to do the same thing, but he will put up the face of Bippy.
Okay. With the 2 major images up, give me a D20 roll.
20. Let's see. Where's metal? 19.
19. Okay, so as it currently stands, if nothing goes wrong, 70% should be saved. Now,
Fuck yeah.
that's with the great major image and the mass migration to safe areas. That could go a little loosey goosey,
Right.
but foundationally, off to a good start.
Now we have to stop them because I don't
Now
have
we
any
have to
more
stop them.
ideas to increase this number. We have to stop them.
Well, 70% is damn good.
Yes, I'm very happy with that.
Remind me, who is casting? Who's releasing the demons? That was Baez's people, or that was Thomas?
No,
finding people to
those
do it?
were Thomas's. Yeah, he found some criminals.
Correct. Oh, correct. Okay. So that's in motion. So what I need from you is
Oh, speaking of which, he was supposed to meet us at the overfilled tankard as well.
okay.
I would have just asked him to scout ahead at the Garnet spot.
Okay, so he would have started making his way there before the lift got shut down.
Yeah,
So when you were talking to Maroney, he would have peeled off.
yeah.
Oh, Marco. We're gonna roll to see how this demon summoning, which demons they're putting up here.
Nice.
If memory serves, you wanted quite a lot of summoned demons.
Yeah,
Or people
Because I think
summoning.
and because they don't get to pick, I think what comes out. It's like completely random.
Correct.
So,
So there are, I believe
we were hiring-
you're trying to influence. Let me see.
yeah, we were hiring like 6 to 10 or something like that.
Something like that. So you're
Not
trying
sure how
to
many he was gonna get.
influence 1, 2, 3. Trying to influence like 5 districts plus 3 major cities, essentially. So you have 8 areas technically you're trying to herd.
Yeah.
So with that 8, how many summoners did you want?
I told him no more than 10, but I at least needed 6.
Okay.
But
roll.
He wasn't sure how
roll-
many he was going to be able to get.
Roll a d20 for me with advantage, and we'll see kind of off of that what we pull down. Well, actually, just roll a d10. That makes more sense, actually, with advantage.
Okay, no problem. D10s. That's an 8. There it is. 8 or 9.
9. Okay, so you pull down 9 summoners.
Jeez.
So
Oh
I'm
my
going
God.
to need you to roll a d6. I need 9 d6 rolls, so I can see how many demons they're popping out each.
All right, so. Here's the first 6.
Okay.
We have 3, 6, 2,
Mm-hmm.
3,
Mm-hmm.
1, 5.
Okay.
And 3 more. 2, 4, 5. Jesus.
Okay. So let's. Let me see how many demons you just put in Craghammer.
This is gonna be hilarious.
It is quite the pendulum swing, for sure.
This should get people running, especially in the
Yeah, I think so.
the redneck area.
I ain't never leaving my. What the hell is that?
Something just ate Grandma.
God damn it! Get the wagon. Leave the wagon. Grab the warhammer and let's get. Okay, so you have orchestrated the summoning of 42 demons of various challenge ratings. So there are 42 demons in Craghammer, uncontrolled, in districts of your choosing, to funnel people to districts of safety.
Oh, this is so great.
So they're up and at 'em. They've been summoned. You're making your way to Opal. Harry 2 making his way to Opal after the messages are broadcast. Boy. So.
I mean, to be fair, the first major images told them that there were going to be demons coming.
You did.
had a
you
warning.
did. There's a warning's been made. So this is what we're gonna do for this. I need you to roll for me. Roll 2 d20s for me. We're gonna take the lower number.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I think it's only appropriate that we use the blood die
Yeah, good choice.
and the giant die. That's so, 9 or 6. Not bad.
Hey, okay. So only 6% are directly wiped from the demon invasion.
So 64%.
64% is what we're punching at. We still have the loosey goosey 19, which should hold. So 64 is kind of where we're looking. As the demon rampage is having pretty horrific effects, but correctly funneling people to where they need to go.
So sacrifices must be made.
It happens. So you and Dresden 2 make your way upstairs. That's going to knock another 30 minutes off,
Okay.
bringing us to 2 hours. Based on the map given, you're going to Opal or Garnet. You, Harry 1.
We are going to Garnet.
Okay.
We told Marcone about Opal.
Okay. So once you get up there, roll investigation for me with advantage because you have the map.
Okay. Investigation, I think, was even for Harry. Nice. A 19 again. I'm killing 19 tonight.
Okay. 19. First thing you go past as you're going through Opal is the exit gates, which are effectively clogged because someone with a giant cart, probably a petty noble, tried to get through and straight up couldn't. A lot of yelling, a lot of commotion. This is pre-demons popping up, mind you, but the gate is effectively blocked. And throughout that crowd, there's a lot of yelling. There's a few fights breaking out. There's still these groups of druids yelling, essentially bloody murder. That's causing a few fights in its own right.
And this is all to get into one of the safe districts?
No, this was to leave Craghammer. You have you go past the exit on your way up.
Gotcha.
So this is what you're kind of zooming past. But with your high investigation as you're going past, there are... The Bobs did not mark this area for where they think the druids will be laying off one of the devices. But as you're zooming past, there is a group of what look like druids that don't seem to be doing the rah-rah hysteria, and seem to be gathering to kind of slink off down a side street.
And we're still 2 hours out?
Yeah, you got 2 hours.
And this is on disc 2?
This is on Opal. So you've gone from disc 2 up to disc 1, which is the first level of Opal. The first level of disc 1 is Opal. Right above that is the third level, which is Garnet. Then you go level 2, level 1. So you're on the floor level of disc 1. Harry 2 is on his way up here.
Okay. So
let me back up. Is the intent to be currently with Harry 2 and Thomas, or to be just with Thomas?
Well, technically, the plan was for us all to meet at the Garnet location.
Okay, so this will be you and Thomas. Let me ask again too. Are you walking or flying?
I would have been walking up until we got to this big old, this big kind of traffic jam, and then I would have flew over top to find out what was holding up.
Okay.
So I guess I'd be kind of like hovering over the crowd close to the big cart.
Okay. You're able to see the cart is completely stuck. There's two huge draft horses trying to pull the thing through. The guards have no ability to stop this because they weren't willing to kill a noble. But because they didn't, the door is completely jammed. People are trying to climb over it with no avail. People are trying to destroy it, but it's extremely well built. It's dwarven make, so they're having no luck with that.
And there's a good amount of people like all waiting to get out, like a few hundred.
Few thousand. It is.
Oh, a few thousand.
It's straight up Attack on Titan trying to get out that last gate.
All right. Well, then Harry is going to. Harry's going to fly down an alley. Preferably in the direction that the druids are going.
Okay.
And right before he gets out of view of the gate, he is going to disintegrate that car.
Holy shit. Okay. Cast Disintegrate? I think that just works, right? It's just an object. It's
It is
done.
a 6th level spell.
Let's see. Target object. The spell automatically disintegrates a large or smaller non-magical object.
Wow. So yeah, you duck into the cut, point your finger back. That cart's fucking gone.
All right,
There's
well, now
like-
a couple thousand people can get out.
There's a yelp of surprise. The horses, unburdened, go flying out, and yeah, there's a mass just rush as it's unblocked, and people begin.
Hopefully nobody
flooding.
gets stampeded.
Oh no, that's happening, but for the most part, you have opened up an avenue that was going to cause some significant losses.
All right.
Um,
I didn't really want to use a spell slot, but fuck it. It's gonna help.
okay, so that is one mark towards guaranteeing that 19% chunk. Make it.
Nice.
Okay. Are you continuing your way up to Garnet? Or trying
Actually,
to-
because there are 2 hours left, I'm going to follow the. How many of them are there?
There were 3 that you saw.
All right, I'm gonna try and tail them for at least 15 minutes. Let me see. See where they're
Give
going.
me a stealth check with advantage.
Advantage. Let me look there. Apparently has +1. All right. So, let's say 18 plus 1 is 19.
Nice, very good.
I'm playing the lottery with 19.
You move unseen, still having fly on you, able to kind of keep a vertical stealthing situation going. As they move through, they keep stopping and checking what seems like random crates, moving through a little further, kind of adjusting a small box over to the left a bit. As you follow them for about 10 or so minutes, one crate has kind of been knocked over. They lift it up and open it, and inside you see a small staff with a red gem on top. Harry would be aware that these are Adam make weapons, specifically designed to create magic canceling fields.
Oh, the ones that Bob was talking about.
Yeah. This has the ability to be either a complete area effect of a certain radius, or to be directed more like a beholder's beam.
And how many of these items are there?
They have, before opening one, they adjusted 3 boxes. The 4th one's the one they opened. So you get the impression
Okay.
the previous 3 were probably the same. They seem to be going in a bit of a radius. Closer, about a loose kind of circle. You can, if you're going to stay where you are in your stealth position, you can give me an investigation at disadvantage. If you're going to get closer, you can do it with advantage. And you could always double back to the other ones, but you'd lose them.
Yeah, I'm gonna get closer.
Okay. So investigation with advantage.
12.
12. This one is set as a beam instead of an area of effect. It is currently positioned to shoot straight up to the ceiling, which above you, looking up, is the Garnet Lake.
And they are planting these things here?
No, these things are already there. They are doing a last
Okay.
check of these things. This seems like the
Uh.
make sure everything's in position. So you get the impression, like these are where they need to be and ready to go. They're ensuring that
Gotcha.
none of them got knocked over. Like this one was knocked over. So they
Okay.
came and picked it back up how it's supposed to be. So what you gather from this is that they're the way they're going to knock out these lakes is from the district below, shooting up with anti-magic.
Okay. Okay.
And based on where you are, if this were to go off, it would come straight down and flood out the district that has the exit.
Okay.
The benefit to that is a lot of the water could potentially go out of Craghammer if those gates stay open.
Mm.
But this may just be one of... This wasn't the area that Bob gave you for Opal to be the area of concern. So this may just be a small part of what they're doing, not the major part that's intended to help flood the lower disc.
Okay. I've been following them for 15 minutes, and they
Yes.
said they've been going in kind of an arcing pattern. Have I been
Mhm.
following them long enough to be able to do the calculations to figure out where they're going if I know how much they're arcing?
Yes, you could probably jump ahead of them and find... you get the impression there's probably 6 devices. You could
Okay.
jump ahead into the other 2 if you want.
Yes, I'm going to wait for them to move on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to that one, start going the opposite way as quickly as I can, and try to collect at least 3 of them before I move on to Garnet.
Okay. So one thing you would be aware of as Harry Dresden, and
Okay.
one that did come up for the Ugai, these are very hard to remove.
Mm.
The one in Harry's yard was removed by him being possessed, and the possessed image forcing him to remove it and taking quite a lot of damage as he was knocked back when he did it.
That was not he, that was Slyrak.
Correct. I'm sorry, Slyrak. Slyrak was forced to remove one.
Yeah. Okay.
So they can be deactivated, they can be forcibly removed, or they can be safely removed by the person who put it there. So the anti-magic component is not yet active. There seems to be some kind of daisy chain. So if they activate one, it would activate the others. So you don't
Okay.
have to immediately worry about anti-magic issues here. It's just with the make of the device, it would either be athletics, or you could try an arcane fix. Arcane holds the risk of activating the anti-magic. Athletics holds the risk of activating the physical blast. You get it out, but you take damage.
Gotcha. Okay. Do I feel like I would need to remove all of them, or if I take one out, it's going to disrupt it?
Interesting. Harry.
You said like that one like kind of activates the others. I don't know if it was like
Yeah.
kind of like Christmas lights, like you pull one
No,
out,
no.
the whole thing doesn't work.
Pulling one out would absolutely stop the circle from being completed. You get the impression that it would not destroy the entirety of the daisy chain, but it would stop the larger hole from being opened in the lake above. So if you pull out one, you'd have 5 pinpricks versus one large hole formed.
Okay. Okay.
You get the impression
Alright.
that the daisy chain is needed to make a large area of effect construct essentially on the roof. Otherwise, it would just be the one solo beams.
So 5 pinpricks would slowly flood the bottom level instead of just crushing it with
Correct.
40,000 pounds of force.
A pipe leak versus a pipe burst.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So we will wait for them to leave. We're gonna go try. What's our stats?
+9 for athletics, +12 for arcana.
gonna
Athletics
try Arcana.
runs the risk of. So arcana runs the risk of anti-magic effects here, if you fail.
Right. So if we fail, we get 1 pinprick, and then we can go try strength on one of the other ones.
No, let me be clear. It will blow back on you with anti-magic effects. Harry will lose spell slots if he fails.
Oh, it's not gonna do. All right. I see. It wants
So
to do
either
HP
way
damage.
it goes, you can deactivate this thing. But it's just a matter of, do you do it clean or do you take some negative effects from doing so?
I gotcha.
Yeah. So if you pull
So
it out but don't
then-
hit the DC, you'll pull it out but take a shockwave. If you try to deactivate
gotcha.
it but don't beat the DC, you'll deactivate it, but some of these anti-magic effects are going to hit Harry himself.
Gotcha. Okay. Then we're gonna try and pull it out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll athletics for me.
Hang on, before we do this, it might be worth. Did I keep that? I did. Ah, fuck, it's another spell slot, but fuck it. We're going to drop a 2nd level spell slot and enhance ability
Okay.
to get advantage on this strength contest here.
Before you roll, this is extremely difficult. These things are designed for war against the Fae. This is black market weaponry they seem to have gotten here. So you're going to need to beat a 22. You have advantage on this.
Okay. Okay. We still have a little under 2 hours left.
Yes. And you
I
still
get
have a
hurt.
second. You have a second
Okay.
Harry Dresden. And you have Thomas.
And I can technically take a short rest and still have an hour left.
Yes, you
If I
can.
take a and he has an ability that can give him like fucking 90 hit points back if he needs to. So
Yes, he does.
hopefully that won't be necessary. But here we go. +9 with advantage. We're gonna go giant dice and the metal dice. Ooh, not great. Nope, that's not gonna work. That is a total of 17.
Okay, so as you grip this with both hands, try to get it up, have to like readjust, put your shoulder into it, you're able to pull this spike out, which is fascinating because it is going through concrete and stone. And as you pull it and it kind of snaps as you had to pull it out, there's this moment where all sound drops out. You can kind of feel yourself being pulled in towards it before you're blasted back in a soundless rush that at the same time throws you backwards, but you also hit kind of the force of an area around it. So you're not sliding to the wall behind it, you kind of slide into a wall of force behind it. Harry takes 50 points of damage. But that arcane rod is destroyed, breaking the daisy chain, ensuring that this district will not be immediately flooded upon activation.
And Harry's gonna get the fuck out of there. It's just in case the druids heard that. And get back on track to head up To Garnet.
Awesome. So, with that, that's going to lock in that 19%.
Nice.
So you're guaranteed 64% saved.
All right.
Barring other, demon eating people setbacks. Or anything else you guys do that is a little shaky. But you head back to the group and you begin making your way back up. That whole event is going to eat 30 minutes.
Okay.
Bringing you to 1.5 hours.
Hour and a half. 90 minutes.
Now, you get up to Garnet. Investigation with advantage as 2 Harrys and a Thomas make their way to find this conflict.
13.
13, okay. Where did I
Green?
put this map? It's a map, it's a map, it's a map.
Oh shit. Alright. Now,
Okay.
with the time left, I would have hopefully try to meet up with Thomas. Well, like a little bit away from the spot, since he was considered ahead to scout, to be able to speak to him.
Yeah.
Down low.
He would have met you near the lift.
Okay.
So, if that was the plan, you and the two Dredge and the Thomas would have met together.
Okay.
For the most part, there's a lot of chaos going on up here on the upper levels. A lot of people trying to get to safety. A lot of the self-important people making it very difficult. Both Bippy and Guard don't have the best grip on things here, just because it's nobles, petty nobles, fake nobility, a lot of foreign delegates in town and their entourages. But between his scouting, which is what gave you advantage on that roll, and Bob's map, he has a very good idea of where the Druids are held up.
Okay.
And he says to you, "All right, Harry, this is going to be a sticky one. They have at least 2 of those Octokong monsters, a few
Oh.
Druids, and I shit you not, a undead Druid. Not quite sure how that works, but here we are."
Does she look familiar?
Oh yeah, yes she does. That's why I prefer to cut off heads instead of starving people out, but neither here nor there.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, at least we fought her before. That's something, I guess.
That's definitely something.
We have about 90 before this is supposed to go down.
He
This is probably not the best time, but you think we could stay put for an hour and still take them out?
Sure. Worst come to worst, yes, that should be fine. A lot of people, my family's out of here, they evacuated, of course. What I can hear and what I picked up, you've done a great job of getting people out of town. Yeah, get up to full and let's do it.
All right. So Harry 1 and Harry 2 are gonna kind of have a seat before they do their long rest.
Short rest.
They're each going to they're short rest. They're each going to use 5 sorcery points each to get a 3rd level spell slot back.
Okay.
And then take a short rest, and they're allowed to regain 4 of those after a short rest. So they get their 3rd level spell slot back and technically only use 1 of their 20 sorcery points.
That's crazy. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Oof.
And at that point, after the nap or whatever, they're going to try and spread out into a strategic spot if they can without getting close enough to get caught.
Easy enough
we're
if Thomas is
trying-
scouting.
Okay, cool. That'll hopefully give us time to get a couple long-range attacks out before they close the distance. Let's see. Before we do, is there anything else we want to do before we start drawing blood?
Thomas is going to clamber up to the rooftops.
All right. You want to do this or not?
Are the two
Let's
Harrys
see what-
sticking together or splitting up?
I think they're gonna split up.
Okay.
As
I
they
thought
do.
so.
What's Harry's religion?
His religion? Magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what he's. Or no, I mean his score. That's even. All right. Let's see what he's. Oh, okay.
I would say he has advantage on that.
Okay. Okay. So I think he's gonna do it. Gonna cost the spell slot higher than he wants to, but spells end. So I guess we'll use the real Harry because I guess it wouldn't mean a whole lot if it came from a copy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna burn his 7th level spell. And he is gonna cast a planar ally. He says you beseech an otherworldly entity for aid. It must be a god or a being known to you. He is going to choose Istis. She's what started this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It will make a creature in their service appear. The creature is under no compulsion to behave in any particular way. I can ask it to perform service in exchange for payment. The payment, of course, could be all sorts of things. If you choose money, like making a donation or whatever, it's 100 gold per minute or 1,000 per hour. But we've established he doesn't have any money. So yeah, he will get this creature to appear and look at it and. I hope you don't mind. Thought since the warning and the whole reason I'm doing all of this came from Istis, I asked for a little help. My understanding, the gods, possibly not her in particular, but they've had their eye on me, and would be willing to help out some extracurricular activities in exchange for a little bit of help from you. I'll even let you pick. If you use some help getting civilians to safety, or if you feel like being let off the leash a little bit, we have some druids attempting to harm hundreds of thousands of people.
This Planetar, which was called forth, chuckles, and it's I will say a bit unsettling, as it sounds like three different laughs coming from the same mouth.
Oh yeah.
One of the voices will say, as the other two are still chuckling, "Oh, Harry Dresden, you do love to call at your lowest times. It makes us feel so unloved and unwanted." A younger voice says, "But that's okay. We take our pieces where we can." An older voice says, "We would request servitude for our help, Harry Dresden. Would you accept that?"
You see, this is why. How long?
Give me 1 second. It smiles, kind of, I won't call it devilish because it's a celestial creature. But it will say with a smirk, "Oh, Dresden, you have such a long life. We would only ask for about a smidgen." And the youngest one says, "Just 30 years, Dresden."
30 years. You do remember I'm human, right?
"Oh, you're barely that, Dresden." The older voice says, "You are of the wise. Your arcane abilities keep you alive much longer than any human has any right to. You have hundreds of years left, at least." The middle voice says, "Why, look at that Baez. He's just human. But for some reason, he just keeps on kicking." The youngest voice says, "We do see your concern. And you have been away from your own machinations for so long. Let's call it 9.
9. Harry's gonna look at Thomas. What's Thomas looking like?
Thomas is
Like his reaction to
frowning
this.
deeply. He will say, "Harry, you've just gotten out of quite a long contract. This may be for a different team, but people don't usually want your aid handing out muffins."
Yeah. However, I have a hard time believing they're going to let somebody die who needs to fulfill tasks for them.
The
Could
triple
be
chuckle happens again.
ultimate failsafe.
"Well, Harry, just keep in mind, it's not 9 years non-stop service. There's downtime. We have benefits. We have other champions. We don't need you for everything. Just some of the more magically inclined issues." And one of the older voice says, "Plus, you could use some patronage. You have quite the array of people after your head, Mr. Treston."
Indeed. And he kept things over, the number of adversaries that they're up against.
Mm-hmm.
He will slowly extend a hand and say, "I'm not hurting any kids. And you fight with us."
Persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Oh, 9 plus 12 is 21.
21. They take your hand and say, "We don't need you to kill any kids, Harry Justin." And they say, "You can have our sword, or you can have our shield. Lots of people to be saved in Craghammer this night."
Yeah, but if we stop them from blowing up the lakes, we save everybody.
Is that
I'll
what's
take
in the
your sword.
cards? And they shake your hand, spin like into a tight curl, and pop out of existence as they fly somewhere.
I'll look at Harry too and Thomas. Oh, I guess that means it's go time. And as we, I guess, go running to our strategic positions, I'll tell Harry too. Once we get in the spot, haste yourself.
Harry 2 says, "Not a problem, Harry 1. What do I need that for anyways? Exhaustion, here we come. Woo!" And he,
And I will, speaking of which, actually, thank you for reminding me, I will hand him one of the two little balls.
Perfect.
I still have left from Bob.
The BBs. These packed
Yes.
with lesser restoration.
So when haste is gone, bam, no exhaustion.
Harry will shake your hand and take it and say, "Hey, for using my spell slots out there, it was nice to meet me."
If you don't die, you still have about 10 hours left.
Enough time for a good beer. And he'll split off and head to his position. It's 12 o'clock, man. I think we're going to have one more week.
Okay.
Woo-wee. You've saved 64% of Crackhammer guaranteed.
Hey, I'll take it.
That's good, man. That's
we
really,
have
really
a-
good.
Talking Planetar helping us out too. That's
Yeah.
gonna be extremely
You pretty much neutralize the lower floor, which is extremely helpful. Yeah. If you can pull this spot off. Now, mind you, the upper two, they're still coming down. But this will hold so that it doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah, the 1% is probably gonna go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We don't really
Yeah,
need you.
they're relatively cooked. But you're going to stop the flood of water here. It's good cooking, man. It's good
Well,
cooking.
If the 1% is all dead, then Crackhammer can take their funds to rebuild. It'll be fine. It'll all work.
Oh, how hopeful you are. You did tell Baez. So,
Just gonna rob them all.
yeah, you told Baez and Marco. So,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
at least everyone...
They're all robbed.
everybody on the take is going to get out because you want to keep your corrupt politicians where they are. And anyone that's of use to Baez or Marcone are going to get the warning.
Nice.
But
Nice.
there'll
We'll keep
definitely
all
be
the
some.
scumbags, and we'll lose all the philanthropists.
I mean, toss up. At the end of this, I'll roll some dice to see what percent of who and what class of people made it through.
Okay.
But no, like this is going much better than I thought it would as far as the life-saving side of it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like when we first started this, I thought it was gonna be like an all or nothing. So I'm
Well, I
extremely
wasn't.
pleased.
It's developed a bit as we went because I was like, okay, there should be some mechanics here to begin putting work in. Like, because you're doing a lot of groundwork the first week to kind of make sure the town was aware, the newspapers were getting the word out, the images were going up, you're talking to people, you're doing all the things that should start making the process work. And because it was across 12 hours and you started early, that puts a lot of motion.
Yeah.
So people were starting to get out of town, people were starting to fortify their homes, people were starting to gather essentials and goods and supplies, which is a big part of it. So, that even if they weren't able to get out, they'd be able to survive until help gets there. So there's you've done enough moving parts to kind of help. And I did want it though, even if Harry fails outright, he's out there trying. So trying is going to get you something anyway it goes.
True. All right.
Woo,
64%
exciting.
in a fight.
Yeah. One big fight for all the beans.
Yeah, but
It's
Harry's
funny,
used way more spell slots than I wanted to.
Yeah,
Before
you're
the
burning
fight
through them, man. I was like, oh, hell yeah, burn those slots out.
Yeah.
I
But
think, I don't think
he's
Harry
got,
2...
he's got almost all of his sorcery points, and I think it only costs two twin spells. So
Okay.
kind of like he has more spell slots.
Pretty much. And we'll see how this goes, man. It's a big fight
Yeah.
for most of the marbles. And Thomas got his family out. So all the vampires are out of town entirely.
Nice.
So you've done that, and that helps Thomas's cred with the vampires. So that's a pretty big fucking warning.
Right? Hey, I just saved all of your lives.
Yeah. So we'll see how that translates back over to the main campaign. But, woo,